so much for downloading the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. Today, Paula and I are talking about self-care. We're not doing a very good job in the most wonderful time of the year. Plus, family game night. We have a renewed love for playing games. What are some of your favorites, and are there any that are banned from your house because someone's a little too competitive? All of this, plus our ugly and awkward moments of the week. Thank you so much, shoplipandclip.com. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
Well, there it is. My weakness.
Paula?
In your face! Let's go!
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 423. Ugh. I am so tired this morning because, and I have morning voice and I really hate it. I've done everything. I've had coffee. I've had a glug of water. Mm-hmm. Nothing is working. I'm so tired. I had the worst nightmare at like 6 o'clock this morning.
Oh.
Apparently it was so bad that I was like breathing really fast and kind of whimpering, and Daryl actually put his arm around me so that I would kind of like either wake up or calm down or whatever. He goes, I haven't seen you like that sleeping, because I don't really have nightmares where you wake up or you're crying in your sleep or whatever. I don't really do that, but I did, and I remember the dream, and it was really bizarre. I woke up and I went, holy shit. Like, I was so tired because it was still super early, but I did not want to go back to sleep.
What was the dream about?
It was weird because it wasn't my children, but someone I was friends with, their children all died in a car accident.
Oh my God.
And the mother tried to kill herself because she didn't want to live.
Well, I don't blame her.
Of course. And it was horrifying, and it was like the most crazy thing, and I'm still like affected by it, and I'm like, what did I read? What did I like listen to, or what was it that made me have this dream? But nothing came to mind, like nothing related to anything. It was just one of those dreams. It was super stressful, and it was just gut-wrenching to watch. And I'm like, honestly, I'm glad it wasn't one of my sisters or me, but it was somebody. I was watching it. I was with them and it was happening, and literally watching this mother fill up the bathtub trying to drown herself. It was so vivid.
That's a dumb way to do it.
Well, it was a dream. And I don't even know who this person was.
I'm
it's like
just
it
go
was
in
just
the
this
cabinet
human.
and take a mouthful of pills.
Actually, interestingly, the house was vacant. It was the only thing it was the only way to do it.
Did you look up to
kill
see what any of it may have meant?
You know what? I didn't, because it was a bit traumatizing, but I'm going to. But I always do. Whenever anything has to do with water, it's emotions usually. But it was crazy. It was like, my God, it was just awful. And so I woke up and, Daryl got up and stuff. But I was like, I don't want to go back to sleep because I don't want to go back to that dream. Jesus. I hate it when that happens. I hate it when I'm so tired and I wake up from a nightmare and it's like the last thing I want to do is go back to sleep right now. It's the worst. I don't know. I don't have nightmares that often, actually, to the point where I'm remembering everything about it.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Very weird. So I'm tired and I sound tired, and it pisses me off because I'm like, I want to be like, hello, welcome to the Ugly Truth. And I'm not. I'm not at all.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Well, I have had insomnia for weeks now, and so I'm going to bed usually between 3 and 4 in the morning.
I noticed that it happens to everybody, but I noticed that you were posting at like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. this morning that you broke a tooth. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, okay, obviously you're having some insomniatic issues. We all go through it. We all go through it. I definitely go through it. And I don't know about you. Have you had insomnia your whole life?
It's kind of weird. Sometimes, like when I'm under a lot of stress, my body will flip and I'll almost become like nocturnal, but then I sleep during the day. Mm-hmm. I think it's almost like a coping mechanism that I've reached my limit of stress. And so I sleep during the day so as to avoid any more stress. And then I'm awake at night because
you've been sleeping.
Well, because everyone's sleeping, then I can just be completely relaxed and just do very basic things that I enjoy and just still exist, but not in a stressful environment. So
right.
I notice when I get really depressed and really stressed out, I sleep. And it's not because I want to. I'll be
your body is
like
just
literally
tired. You're
Victor
just
and I were
tired.
making a grocery list and I almost fell asleep like when we were making the grocery list.
Yeah, I definitely get it. I know, well, we've discussed it, but when our mom, I didn't realize how affected I was mentally and physically when our mom was in the hospital this last month. And it wasn't until she got home that I started to fall apart. And I talked about it a little bit during our show. It's like I was clumsy. I had migraines. I was crying uncontrollably for no damn reason. You know, it was really weird. And it's only been in the last week or so that I've actually started to feel like myself again, where I'm actually working out and eating normally and just feeling like I have the energy to go out and do stuff. And I'm like, God, was I depressed? Was it depression, or was it just the stress had gotten to such a level that my body was like literally incapable of doing anything? And I think that's what it was, because I didn't feel depressed. I felt exhausted, so exhausted. Like, I even realized, I was thinking back when I went and got my hair done about a month ago, and he kept asking me if I was all right. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Why? I must have looked like shit because I must have looked stressed. Like I must have had a face that just said, I'm not okay, help me. But, you know, there's nothing you can do when you're just trying to recover. So it might be the same thing for you, or it's like, and I get it. Our mom used to tell us that when she had 4 children, and you know what? Honestly, I was thinking about this today. And you, any mother who has more than 2 children knows that you're always tired. Like you're never not tired.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're exhausted. And when you have 3 or 4 children like I did, at some point you just give up and you're like, I don't even care anymore. Do whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me anyway. All of that mothering and constant beating down catches up to you eventually. And I'm like, maybe this is the year when finally it's all just hitting me. The 20 plus years of mothering is finally just beating me down. Maybe that's why women look like shit and need fillers in their 50s, because it's finally, all of it's hitting their face. Finally.
Just trying to survive life and then having children is so hard. Like it's really hard enough just to make sure your kids like live every day, they don't die, they're fed, they're clothed,
just the basics,
you know, they go to school, they get their homework done, they get decent grades, you know, they have safe friends, and all that like that's hard to do day after day, and make sure that they're upstanding human beings, you know, not little deviants, you know, doing drugs and having sex and, you know, getting pregnant and all that stuff. So,
well, anyway, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Is it,
when you add,
is it really?
That's my point. It doesn't ever, it never ends. It never ends. And I don't know why women live longer than men, but we do. So we get to deal with that all the way to our deathbed. It's insane.
Did you ever teach your child like unrealistic lessons that...
Like what? Like if there's a mass flooding or something?
No, like I keep telling Olivia that if she has like a boyfriend or something that proposes to her, if the diamond's really small, that means he can't afford to take care of her. And so she should say no.
No, that's a terrible thing to tell someone, first of all. And second of all, no,
I said if it's too small, she's like, but what if it's just because, you know, we're just starting out and he doesn't have a very good job. I said that means
like a sane person.
And I said that means he's not doing well in life and he's not ready for marriage and he can't afford to take care of you, Olivia. I said, and it's a bad first offer. And so he needs to go and make something of himself. And when he comes back, he'll have a decent ring to offer you, which will show you that he can actually take care of you.
You know what you just did? You just created something where she's going to come back with a gold band and you'd be like, well, I love him, Mom, so tough. That's what's going to happen. She's going to revolt. That's what's going to happen.
She's not a rebellious one.
We'll see.
She's very obedient.
Okay.
She likes shiny things too. In fact, we were looking at engagement rings. She's like,
we all do.
one. She's like, how much is this one? I'm like, it's $30,000. That's a perfect one.
Yeah, that's it. Sure. Anyway, so yes, Christmas is here. The holidays are in full swing. Daryl has transformed into Sparky Griswold.
Yes.
He's having a blast. He won't leave me alone. And I was like, what are you? I go, why are you being so nice to me? I go, did you do something? Are you doing something that I'm not, evil, but I mean, like, what's going on? Like, why? Nothing. It's the holidays and Nat King Cole is playing and we have our tree up. It's just it's a wonderful time of the year. I made his favorite cookies. And so he's just like in full blown holiday mode. I'm glad. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I don't feel the way he does, but like I'll be upstairs doing stuff and all of a sudden I'll hear this chestnuts roasting like blaring through the house. And I'm like, you know what? Good for him. Good for him.
It just doesn't even feel like that time of year for me. I don't know. I mean, it should.
Do you have your tree up yet?
No, Victor's got to go through it and make sure there's no black widows or something. It's still in the middle of the garage, but
okay.
I mean, we did talk about bringing it in and decorating it, but like as soon as we talked about doing that, I just was like, I just didn't want to deal with it.
Speaking of feel goods, so there was a video that went somewhat viral the other day about how someone left a little box of snacks and drinks out for all the delivery people that come to their door. Amazon, UPS, FedEx, whatever.
Yeah, I think I kind of saw. I glanced at it, but I didn't really watch the whole thing.
So basically, it was a little basket of just, the kind of snacks you put in your kid's lunch, and then a few, there was some sodas and waters. And then the sign said, attention UPS, Amazon, blah, 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 delivery. Please take something for your route. Thank you so much for making Christmas shopping easier for me. And there was one guy who dropped off a package and he took a double look and he saw it and he's like, oh my God, this is so cool. And he was so excited he took something. Aww. And see, for me, the big thing is, I don't know if they would ever take it, but just the fact that it's out there, I think is so nice. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it.
Sweet.
I will post it so you can see that I did it. But I thought, because I haven't really gotten into heavy shopping yet. I've done a couple things, but nothing significant. But I'd say 90% of my shopping online.
That's what I've been doing. And you know what?
I hate people. And so I'm like, why would I go through it? Yeah. So the least I could do is say thank you to these people who are probably working 15-hour days.
Oh, God. They've got to be crazy busy right now. Yeah.
So I hope that they take advantage of it because I really, really I am appreciative. And they're always so friendly because some of the stuff you have to sign for. So it's like, I really hope that they see that and do it.
Okay, so here in Northern California, there's a town called Pioneer.
Yes.
They had a bunch of Amazon packages. They delivered them to the postal service on Sunday. Well, the post office is closed on Sunday. So they dropped off 15 packages to the back of the post office.
They just left them there at the back of the door?
Yes. So when the post office opened on Monday, all the packages were gone.
I would imagine.
It's ridiculous. Like, why would you do that? Like, what kind of moron wouldn't know that the post office is obviously closed and they're going to sit there all night? What did you think? Because you put them in the back, someone might not see, or it's
That's
just
funny.
I don't know. People are just. So of course it was in the newspaper. It was for that town. It was probably like the biggest thing that's happened in 15 years. But
Grandma sent her crocheted booties, but we never got them.
I just think it's funny because it's kind of like, wow, like we got this box. What's in it? I don't know. It's a sex toy.
Speaking of shopping, this was a couple of weeks ago. It was pre-Thanksgiving. We went to Macys because the Macys here for men, it's still here. It's barely hanging on.
Oh, because the mall?
Yes, the mall in there, it has a Macys. It's the biggest, but besides JCPenney, Macys has 2 stores there. They have the women's and juniors and kids section, and then at the end is the men's and housewares. I like Macys. I always have. I've never not enjoyed it there. They have good brands and stuff. So Daryl needs a belt. I bought him a belt on Amazon and it came broken. So we had to return it. And Macys is the best place for them. They always have what he needs. Nice brand. So we walk in. They've condensed. All of their housewares are now downstairs where the men's section used to be. So we walk in, we go all the way to the end, almost to the entrance of the mall, and that's where all the men's wear is now. And of course, it's the inventory is super small, but they still have one of everything. So we get the belt, we go to housewares, everything's 70% off. So we bought a couple of things for like knives and stuff that we needed for like ridiculously cheap. So we're leaving. And they have some of their Christmas stuff up already, like the shit you give people at work that you don't really want to, you don't know very well, like mixes of nuts and things. So we're walking by.
Here, I got you some nuts.
Exactly. Daryl goes, "Hey, you want to get some moose munch?" And I'm like, that's what it was called.
I'd be like, don't say that out loud.
Right? Okay, good. You're on the same mind frame as me.
I would have taken a picture of it and posted it on Facebook and be like, anybody want some moose munch?
So he goes, "Hey, you want some moose munch?" And because we're completely debased thinking, I go,
"What are you trying to say?"
Somewhat loudly, I go, "That sounds like something you'd get at a lesbian bar." And I said it really loud. And of course, without fail, we were walking by a lesbian couple who stopped and stared at me like, "You cunt!" And I was like, I just kept walking because at this point, I'm like, well, I've done it.
You should have been like,
I'm a bigot.
Sounds delicious.
I was like, wow.
Yum.
Really? Just a reminder, if you didn't know that I was awkward, I am. And I do shit like this all the time. So much so that we have a segment to talk about our weekly awkward moments.
You know,
this is one.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's it.
I'm so annoyed because I know I did 3 things over the Thanksgiving break when we weren't recording. And I do this every time. I'm like, oh, I should write these down. And I'm like, no, they're so significant, I'll remember them. And I can only remember one. And it was like the least awkward
the least
thing,
of the infractions.
But I can't remember the other 2. I need to start writing them down. But
you really do. I have to write mine down. I have to. I'll never remember.
But
so anyway, okay. So speaking of fun and games, when you came over for Thanksgiving, we played poker. And then we played Wits and Wagers, which you can get on Amazon. Go through theuglytruth.com. Click the Amazon link. Put in Wits and Wagers. It is a game that is super fun. I wasn't at all surprised that when you guys went home, you went on a family game night spree.
I mean, I love spending time with my family and my kids and stuff, but I really like it interactive. You know, I don't want to sit there and play video games, you know, with
watch a movie.
Or watch a movie. And so and they always have fun when they do it. They just don't realize. And so I'm like, well, why don't we play Clue or Headbands or something like that?
Oh,
and Headbands is the one where you've got the picture on your forehead.
Okay.
The timer goes off and you have to like try and guess what you are by asking everybody questions. And so you're like, am I a person? Am I a place? Am I a thing? You're a thing. Am I an animal? Yes. Do I have fur? You know, so like those kinds of things. So we ended up only playing that. But then since then, we played like a very intense game of Jenga last night. I was surprised. I actually liked that. I liked it up until a point where it started to like really teeter and I was getting like panicky because I was just like, every time it was my turn, my hands started shaking like I had freaking Parkinson's. I was so scared. You know, but Olivia, she's like the little Jenga master. She just plops out these little blocks and puts them on top. And I'm like, it's just because your fingers are so small. That's why.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's small and agile. So she's meant for this game.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've been kind of playing a lot of board games. And I'm just like, I like this. I like playing board games.
Yeah, it was funny when you said you wanted to talk about that. I'm like, you know, we actually really like playing board games too. And it did harken back to our childhood. And I was trying to think about some of the games that we used to play. We played a lot of games when we were kids.
Well, because there wasn't video games. And
right, we didn't have video games.
We had Atari, but with the Atari, I mean, I think there was only like the one game that, or the one series of games that was 2-player. which I forgot what that one was, but
and that was at Dad's house.
Yeah.
And we were really only there like twice a month. And so we would play it, but it was very infrequent. Whereas at our house, where with our mom, I was thinking about, because you wanted to talk about childhood games we played, and I'm like, my God, we used to play, first of all, our mom, when we were little, and you were probably not even born yet, the games that we were allowed to play had to be educational because she was still a young mother and still had energy. And so she was like, no, educational only. And so we never got to play Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Oh,
we couldn't
God,
play.
no.
We couldn't play Mousetrap because that just had too many pieces that would get lost.
Well, it's just
Legos was out.
brainless. Oh God, I did have a bucket of Legos. I think she still has those. To be honest.
Well, by the time you came around, she was done.
Yeah.
She was tired and didn't care anymore. So you got everything. You got Barbies. You got, you got to have posters on your wall. You had Legos and babies and stuffed animals. Our dad bought me a set of stuffed animals once, and my mom was like, what is this supposed to do? Like, how does this encourage her
What has she
brain?
learned from this?
How is she learning from this? He goes, I got him from the World Wildlife Federation. We donated to it. It's like, it was a do-gooder thing. We got him as a gift for donating. And I'm like,
what do you want me to do? Throw him in the trash?
No, I got to keep him for a really long time. And then ultimately, I think I grew up and got rid of him.
Yeah.
But games. So we used to play a game called Mastermind. Do you remember Mastermind?
Oh, you know what? It sounds familiar. How did it go?
So it was a long piece of wood with 21 lines of holes, and the top line was covered, and the player one would put in succession 6 different pegs, and they were a combination of, you could do anything you wanted. There was like green, white, yellow, blue, and red, and so, or something, and you'd decide what combo you wanted in what order, and the person, player 2, would have to try to guess what the combo was. So they just start putting in combos, and then on the side, the player 1 would put in pegs saying this number 3 is right, but everything else is wrong. And so you always know that, okay, number 3 is green, so I know that, so I'll just continue. And by row 20, you should be able to deduce what the combo is that is hidden from you.
Okay.
We played that forever.
You could totally cheat on that. I would never play with Stephanie on that game. Did she cheat?
Why? Of course, she cheated on everything. She never played honest. Never.
Okay, Allison was the cheat, but
Allison cheated?
Well, okay, whenever you played Monopoly with her, she freaking hid money everywhere. Like,
that was Dad's
She
move.
had $500 bills like up her sleeves, under her. She was sitting on them. There was like this nook under the kitchen table that she would we would find. Even I think when we would stretch out the table to put the leaf in, there'd be like all this Monopoly money in there, and Alice would be like, "Oh, I forgot I put that there."
Yeah, that is Monopoly. We were merciless to each other.
Are there like
Monopoly.
games you guys aren't allowed to play at your house right now because it gets too?
Yes, actually, Daryl and I cannot play Mancala.
You can't play
Do you know
what?
Mancala.
The little bead game?
It comes with little stones and there's little divots. Yes. I love Mancala. And so I bought the game and I was playing with all the kids, and it's super fun. And, we loved it. So Daryl is like an idiot savant, and he is unbeatable when we play Mancala. I can't beat him.
Wow.
And it pisses me off to no end because I can win everything and I can't beat him on this game. And so we would play for hours, and I would never beat him.
And he never got tired of watching you try and beat him.
Oh, God, no. He loved it because I'm good at everything except for Mancala. I would get so angry that I literally have flung the board and walked away.
So
I'm furious. I'm just furious. I'm like, I can't take it anymore. And I would and then every once in a while in the time we've been married, I'd say like every 7 or 8 years, I would buy a new Mancala game.
Oh, because you thought the other one was cursed?
Yeah. And I bring it home and he'd be like, I remember vividly the last time I bought a Mancala game, and he goes, why are you doing this to yourself?
Oh.
And I said, oh, it's going now.
Tonight?
We're doing it.
It's on.
Yeah, tonight we're doing it. And he's just like, all right. And so we'll do it. And I'm really confident, and I never freaking win. And I'm just like, God damn it.
I wonder have you ever tried to figure out like what the logic or the strategy that he has?
I've done everything. And I don't know what it is. I really don't. I can't beat him. And it's so frustrating that is the one game. We have a Mancala board with no stones in it sitting on our bookshelf. It's like just staring at me. Every day I look at it and I'm like, well, there it is. My weakness.
When I was growing up, you know, my friend Stuart across the street, we grew up together. And by the time we were probably in like our late teens, I would say like 17, 18, we had been playing for years this game called Cribbage.
Oh, yeah, that's a card game.
The card game with the pegs.
Yeah.
And
yes.
he constantly beat me. Constantly.
Ugh,
I mean, there
annoying.
were times where I got close to like being behind him before he beat me. But I mean, there was many times where I got what's called skunked, where there's this line and it says skunk. And if you're behind that when they beat you, then that means you got skunked. And so I just couldn't beat him. And the thing is it's not even like, you know, if you get bad cards or something like that. It's just, it's all strategy. And I just could never figure out his strategy. And so it's so frustrating. But anyways,
it's very difficult.
The game in our house that I have basically abolished entirely, whether it's video game or on board, is Monopoly. Because
no one can play Monopoly?
Well, no, Victor can't play Monopoly because he gets so competitive. He tries to make bad deals with the kids. And
I hate that. That's manipulating.
That's what I told him. I said, they're children. Why are you doing that?
Our dad used to manipulate us all the time. All the time.
And I sit there and I'm like, Olivia, do not make that deal. Don't. And and then Victor will be like, Olivia, trust me, this is going to benefit you. And I'll throw in $500. She's like, $500? She's like, yes. I'm like, no. And so,
you know, I mean, I hate to tell you this, but you know who used to do that?
Who, Dad?
Oh, constantly.
So I just told him, I said, look, I'm like, you're being an asshole. There's no point in playing if you're just going to shyst the kids that don't even understand. And so
they don't understand real estate.
And I said, who's having fun here? Because everyone's going to be bankrupt in about 10 minutes. And it's just,
and then it's over.
You're going to have all the properties. And then what? You're going to have the satisfaction of winning from, you know, a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So
yeah, congratulations.
I'm like, way
money
to go.
Man.
Yeah. So.
Congratulations. Yeah. You know, we played Monopoly as kids and it's like listening to our childhood. Our mom would be like, Bob, why are you doing this? They are children. They don't understand real estate. Oh, what? It's fine. It's a learning experience. This is how they learn. This is how they learn. And so, of course, like a raptor, I remember and I learn. Yeah. And so eventually we would play when I was a teenager and I was competitive. And suddenly it wasn't so fun for our dad anymore.
Yeah.
Because I was playing his game. And suddenly it's like, all right, well, I think we've had enough of this.
Or have you ever played other people and they're just like, wow, you're really cutthroat. And I'm just like, yes. Yeah, I guess I am.
Yes.
Doesn't everybody play like this?
Oh, my God. I dated someone who was not as smart as me. We played Monopoly. And I felt myself being sadistic because I was beating him so badly. And I was like, listen, just if you hand over Monopoly, if you hand over Park Place and Boardwalk to me, it's just good business. You've got the whole row after Pasco. You've got the lower levels of the whole street.
If you could get hotels on there, you'll own this board.
Yeah. And I said, it'll be fine.
No one ever lands on Boardwalk and Park Place.
Now, oh, yes, they do. So
no, that's what you tell them.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, so I go, you have Baltic and Mediterranean, and you have hotels on them. That's
like $450 a whack.
Every time. And I'm going to land on it every time. Well, you're probably right. And then he'd give me Boardwalk because he probably got Boardwalk right, like the first go round when everybody still is flush with money. And so I get it. I immediately put hotels on it.
Isn't that like $1,500 a whack or $2,000
yes,
or something? Yeah,
absolutely. So within 3 turns, I own everything. And he's mortgaged everything. And I'm like, tell you what, I will buy your mortgage. I will take those from you. And so we can keep playing. Next thing you know, he's got 2 pink dollar bills and I've got a pile of cash. And I'm just like, oops, oh, you got to go to jail.
You're the fat cat smoking cigars, and he's in in jail.
So we never played much after that because he didn't like it.
That's
but
funny.
To me, it was hilarious. You know what? I should have known then that I didn't give two shits about him because I just didn't care.
Now, Olivia, she plays a mean game of Clue. Like, she's ridiculously good. I've even tried to trick her, like, you know, to have like a total poker face. And
sure.
And she'll catch on and she'll know, like, you know, she's like, Mom, are you heading to the whatever the thing's called? And I'm like, no. And so then
I'm going to the conservatory.
So she'll try and like erase me because she knows it's almost like we both discover at the same time what it is.
Yeah.
And
so she's trying to get there.
She'll be trying to erase me, or she'll just act like she's going to another room and then she'll go in there. I'm like, wait. I'm like, how do you know? And she's like, I just figured it out.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
fun.
you know, I would say family game night is actually super fun. I am glad that we were poor enough that was our Friday and Saturday night entertainment as kids because it was fun. We're savages. Like no love is lost. We're like, look, I love you and everything, but not right now. Like right now it's about winning. We're all so competitive. Yeah, this is serious and I'm going to kick your ass. And the worst part is when you don't. To me, that is the worst thing ever is to lose, which is why we can't play Mancala anymore because it's like the worst feeling in the world to lose. I have to win.
Well,
I have to win.
Whoever goes into a game thinking they're not going to. I mean,
some people just want to have fun, which is weird to me.
Who plays to have fun?
Like, this isn't about fun. This is about
maybe
winning.
When I'm playing with my kids, that's different. You know, I play just to watch. Well, okay. I don't know if you watched the video of Ryan and Olivia playing Jenga.
Oh, I did.
So Olivia's screaming at him, in your face! Let's go!
Yeah. Oh, Paula, listen. I've played Candyland with small children. And I'm like, oops, down you go. Oh, well. No mercy. I'm like, this is real life, you guys. You are going down the... oh, no, that's Chutes and Ladders. Chutes and Ladders and Candyland and Uncle Wiggly, too. I've done them all.
Olivia beat Malia on Thanksgiving when they were playing Connect 4. Although Malia was a sport about it because she actually pointed it out. She's like, Olivia, she's like, you already beat me twice. Olivia's like, oh, I did.
Malia is what a two-parent home looks like.
Malia's Switzerland.
Yeah, she is. Malia is what happens when you come from a two-parent home. Everybody else is a blended family or broken home, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
So she's actually kind.
We're like the mixture of like mafia, crazy ex-wife, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Home.
We've got it all. We've got it all, and it all comes out on the games. I don't know. I mean, but to me, it's fun, and I love the thrill of competing. It's so great, and I love that I check it all at the door. I'm like, I love you in about 20 minutes, but right now I'm going to beat you.
It was fun on Thanksgiving playing with your kids because they're all adults now.
Yeah,
for the most part, grasp the concept, and Tyler's really good actually. So
he is. But like I said, you know, we did play we were like you guys. We played so many games. It's super fun. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, I thought it was really fun.
I wish you lived closer because we would definitely do family game night.
Well, I don't know if I already told you this. I think I did. When we were at the gas station and there was like Tic Tacs. And I'm like, Olivia, how many Tic Tacs are in a box? And she's like, I know this one. And she's like, 125, I'm all 65. And she's like, I knew it! Because that was one of the
she was
answers.
really fun to play with.
Yeah.
She's so funny. All of our children are hilarious.
They are.
So,
but she is really funny. Oh, God, you should have seen her playing headbands the other night. Actually, that's the funny thing to watch people play games. Like, you really learn a lot about someone when you watch them
I was just going to
play
say
games.
that. I was going to say that. Yes.
So.
You do. You see all kinds of parts of them that you didn't know were in there. It's really great.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm far more passive when I play poker because I'm not real confident in myself, and so I'm very conservative, which is unfortunate because obviously I don't risk much. But I don't know why I'm like that either. It's really because I'm not confident in the game, my ability to play, so I fold a lot.
See, I'm a big risk taker, so I'll either bluff or I'm a big risk taker and I'll wind up getting a pretty good hand.
Yeah, the people that double and triple down, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, if you overbet, no one's gonna do it unless they have a flush or something.
Yeah,
you know.
Well,
anyway, all right. So we need to go on to our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
The kids and I ended up on the subject. We ended up talking about Cardi B. And I forget why we were talking about. I think we were talking about celebrities who had a lot of plastic surgery.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm always telling Ryan, because he just thinks Kylie Jenner is so beautiful. And I mean, she is a pretty girl. But I said, Ryan.
Show him a picture of her from 6 years ago.
That's exactly what I do. I said, but Ryan, I'm like, this is what she looked like. And I'm like, duh. You know, and I show him the picture. And I'm like, so you have to realize your children will have this, you know, in them.
There is nothing more satisfying than seeing a woman who is beautiful have children.
Yeah.
Because then you go, oh, okay, never mind. I mean, because then you get to know what they really look like.
That's why I wondered where my freaking nose came from. Because I'm like, okay, there's dad. It's not fantastic, but it's not like mine. There's mom with her little tiny slope button nose. I'm like, where the fuck did this thing come from? It wasn't until years later I discovered that mom had a broken nose because she walked into a sliding glass door. And while they were in there fixing it, they shaved the top off. And I'm just like, what? So,
she had a nose job.
Yes. So I'm just like, you mean you've been lying to me all these years? But,
well, now you know where it comes from.
So we were talking about Cardi B, and she had a ton of plastic surgery once she got rich. I mean, I think she had just about everything done. But the thing she was most concerned about were her teeth, because I guess they were pretty fucked up. So we looked at a picture, and her teeth were pretty snarly. Anyways, Ryan's just like, did you know she used to be a stripper? And I'm just like, how do you know that? And he's just like, I don't know. So I was sliding.
Well, she talks about it quite a bit.
So I was standing next to the sliding glass door, and I'm like, well, kids, I said, there's something I need to tell you. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I also used to be a stripper before you were born.
Oh my God.
And they're like, no, you weren't. So then I went to go do this like sexy move, and I stumbled a little bit, and then I fell into the handle of the sliding glass door.
Oh no.
And I'm like, ow.
Did you get a mark?
No, it was just above my hip bone. But then, of course, they both started laughing at me, and I'm like, shut up. I'm sexy.
Wow. Yes, you're very sexy.
So clearly they didn't believe me, but...
Well, I mean, I don't think you promoted your cause by running into the thing. You don't even know how to twerk. Do you know how to twerk? Is that a thing anymore? Does anyone even twerk anymore?
I don't know that I have the beat for twerking, but even if I did, I mean, I just look like I'm lifting my back up and down. I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
right. You have no curve of the back.
I just curve on the back. Do you know how to twerk?
Yes, but I have a big Mexican ass.
Yeah, but
so I can do it.
Even if I had one, I just don't know that I admire.
I know what you would look like. You would look like a meth mouth trying to sing for her supper. It wouldn't be pretty.
I admire the women that can. Well, it's usually African American women, which I absolutely admire that they can do that thing where they can like move one cheek at a time.
Right.
And they can get real low.
I want to do that.
And they can just it's like hula dancers where they can just make their hips move. These women, they can just make their ass move and nothing else on their body is moving. And
it's like those men who can make their boobs do that.
Their pecs, yeah.
Their pecs do
like
that,
an
yeah.
art form to me. I'm just like, how do they make that happen?
I just love it's because it's such a control over their body that they can do. They can like very segment that muscle and do that.
I'm just thinking like
cool.
Can you imagine if you were like in the bedroom with your man and you were like sitting on top of him backwards and then you just started doing that trip? Like, could you imagine like how wild they would be going just to watch that?
I don't think. Well, I can't do it. I mean, I'd have to try. I'd have to practice.
Well,
but
I would just be afraid that my butt would look flat and cottage cheesy because I was clenching so hard to try and make my butt jiggle.
I'm trying to do it now, and you know what I think? I think it's the upper buttocks muscle because it's not the lower or mid buttock muscle. It's because you're lifting it, so it's like almost like lower back, upper buttock. But if I tried to do that, Daryl would be like, "Are you all right? What's going on over there?" He would be like, "What the hell?"
Well,
it would be weird to him.
Well, probably to him, but most guys,
No, I mean, if I didn't know how to do it and I tried to do it, he'd be concerned.
Well, obviously,
like,
you would have to practice. I mean,
yes,
that's not a trick. You just be like, "Hey, let me try something."
Yeah,
that's something guys do. That's just like, "Hey, let's try this," and be like, "I don't know." That's not something you say in the middle of sex, like, "Hey, let's try this." Mm-hmm. And it's just like. Because usually my butt or my leg or something ends up in an awkward spot and I feel very exposed. And
I got you. Yeah, the only thing that I hate that came out of porn is anal. And I also hate reverse cowgirl.
You've mentioned anal like the last 4 episodes. And is it because Christmas is coming up? Is that what this is?
No. I was just thinking about all of these things where strippers have made it like, oh yeah, if you can do this with your ass, it's really sexy. But I was thinking, porn has given us reverse cowgirl and I don't like it. It's uncomfortable to me. I don't mind from behind at all, but
nobody does.
No, it's wonderful, but reverse cowgirl does not have the same effect. I don't like it. It's very awkward for me. And maybe it isn't for everybody, but it is for me, and I don't like it.
Well, a lot of guys that I've done it with, they're not into it either because.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, it just kind of bends them kind of funky, and they don't really get like the natural friction because it's going opposite for them too.
It just seems unnatural.
It is for everyone all around. I mean, maybe the idea is good because they get to see like the ass, but it's
there's other ways of seeing it.
But I mean, the girl has to basically arch backwards to kind of like get the natural glide, and it's just
you know what? Maybe if he has a small penis, you can do it.
It's a lot of work, and by that point,
it seems like a lot of work for a very little pleasure, for sure. I don't want to do it. It's like a Cheerio. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
All right, my awkward moment. As you know, we went Christmas tree hunting a week earlier than we normally do because everybody's an adult now and they all work and they don't want to give up the tradition of coming up with us to buy a tree.
That's so sweet.
And so,
you know what? There's going to be a day where the kids are going to come with you with their kids. Yeah. And you're going to have like your little grandchildren with you.
Paula, I look forward to that.
I know.
I look forward to it so bad.
We need a baby in the family like now.
No, I can't think of one person I want to be pregnant right now. They're all still in their early 20s. I don't want it.
Tyler's like 28, Jamie.
He's not 28, but my point is,
How old
that
is he?
He's 26.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was 28.
Anyway, my point is this. We went to a new tree farm because most tree farms aren't open until the day after Thanksgiving. And so there's 1 or 2 that are up in Placerville that are open the weekend before Thanksgiving. So we went up to this farm. We'd never been to it before, but it was one of those, you yell for a cutter and they come and cut your tree down for you, or you can do it yourself if you want. So we went to this place. The entire farm is on a hill. So wherever you go, it's up. And so luckily it was warm.
I wonder if that's the one we went to one time because it was actually, you have to go higher up on the street or the road because the ones at the bottom of the road, they weren't, I think we did the same thing. They weren't open yet. And so we had to go like kind of up like the mountain a little bit.
Yes.
And so it was a little like slidey.
So this farm is like, okay, go. We'd never been there before. So we go all the way to the top. They have 5 miles of farm. And so it's 1.5 mile up and then you can go 1.5 miles down and then continue another 1.5 miles to their main gate. So we went up, and we didn't know that it was 1.5 miles up. We had no idea, but we just kept going up because all the trees were so damn small. We're like, where are the tall trees? Because we want at least 8 feet.
You have to get a really big one.
Because the room in which this tree is going, it's got to be at least 8 feet high. And so if we got a small one, it would be weird. So we went all the way up, and we went all the way down, and we finally found a tree that said it was 8 feet tall. So we got it. Not happy about it. We weren't real happy, but we were not leaving without a tree at this point.
Right.
And so we're walking down the hill, and it is steep. And I'm wearing hiking boots, but they weren't like real hiking boots. They were just like fashionable hiking boots.
So they probably don't have like super traction or anything.
Nothing. So we're going down the hill, and I am clumsy. I slip and fall all the time. And so Mackenzie and Malia are behind me. My daughters are behind me, and they are making fun of each other, going, don't fall, because they are wearing fashionable hiking boots as well. And so Mackenzie goes, watch, I'll slip and fall right here. The words just escaped her mouth, and at that very moment, a huge family of 6 walks by us, and I fall, I slip and slide 3 feet down past Daryl on my ass.
You're like, hi.
I'm like, ah! and then of course Daryl's like, oh my God. So, he grabs me and tries to help me pull up, and I'm like, I got it. Really loud because I'm super embarrassed. And Malia goes, totally your fault, Mackenzie. You totally cursed our mother. And she's like, I know, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's fine.
You're like,
we're making this a really big deal. We're really making this a big deal now. We've involved 12 people total. Can we just move on with our lives?
Oh my God.
I haven't fallen in front of someone in a very long time. It was embarrassing. And then the mother of the other group, she's like, okay, you guys, it's really slick and it's steep. So let's all be careful.
I'd be like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Well, she was just, reminding everyone, if you didn't see the woman fall, let's all remember and be careful.
Okay, the woman that just slid past us, obviously it's very slick up here. So.
Obviously, we don't want to do that. So it was really embarrassing.
Oh, no. Were your
funny,
pants all wet and everything?
No, they weren't, because I kind of landed on my shoes.
Oh, okay.
You know how you kind of do. And so I'm like, oh, at least I didn't go tumbling.
Oh,
it was kind of a graceful slip and fall. But anyway, it was embarrassing.
God.
When you slip and fall as much as we do, you start to, you either flob your whole body so you don't create injury, or you find a way to fall gracefully. So
it just depends on when how surprised you are. Like, you were going slow because you were anticipating a fall.
Yes.
Like the last time I fell, when I was shadow boxing at Ryan with my socks on, and then I slipped and fell on the ground. That really caught me off guard. So
yeah, and that reminds me of the one time we had a UFC party, and it was like 2 a.m. Everybody was leaving, and I thought everyone had left, and so it was at our old house, and we had wood flooring there. So I went running down the hall doing the risky business thing, and I slid all the way across. And of course, stumbled and fell because it was slippy. Right in front of Adam and Con. And they were talking, and they turn and they look at me. I'm all, risky business. It was so funny.
Oh my God.
It was so funny.
That is funny.
It happens all the time. Yeah, it's really funny.
Well,
anyway,
that's good stuff.
That's my awkward moment.
Well, good for us. These were more funny this week.
They were funny.
So anyways, well, I think that's the end of the show. So thanks everybody for joining us. And hopefully you two are getting into the spirit of things. I know people are doing a lot of shopping right now. So one thing that I'm doing, because I anticipate things are going to go on sale again or get reduced in price, I'm not actually purchasing them. I'm putting them on a wish list. So if you don't know how to do that, you should go to Amazon. And then you can go into, I think it's your account or wish list when you're on an item below the buy button, it says add to wish list. You should be able to create a wish list. I have wish lists for like me, and then I have one for Ryan and Olivia. But I don't actually put stuff in Ryan and Olivia's, and I tell them to put their stuff in there. So I know what they're thinking about. And then I can even I've emailed that to you before.
You have, it's very helpful.
And so that way you have it, especially as they get older, you have no clue what they want. Like Ryan, I don't know what he wants.
They always want money. They only want money.
So I would say that you should try using the wish list and then keep your items in there. And then if the price lowers, then you can buy it then or wait. But that's what I do.
Yeah.
So we will talk to you next Wednesday. Have a fabulous weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.